Time now for The Real Estate Connection with Stephen Theard, a realtor and certified probate and real estate specialist. Whether you're a first-time homebuyer or a seasoned investor looking to downsize, move up, or refinance, this program is for you.
A house in the middle of our street. Something tells you that you've got to move in the middle of our...
From probate sales to landscape design to home repairs and maintenance, this is your weekly look into all things real estate. Now your host for The Real Estate Connection, Stephen Theard.
Hey everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Real Estate Connection. That's right. Another episode of The Real Estate Connection brought to you by our only and number one sponsor, Good Patriot Realty, a salute to home ownership. If you're looking to buy or sell in the near future and you would like to have me, the host of The Real Estate Connection, Stephen Theard, give you a call, or talk to me about anything, give me a call actually at 408-472-0817. Again, 408-472-0817. You know, my clients as closing gifts have been giving out these really cool Richardson 112 snapbacks. I don't know if you can see that. Red, white, and blue. They're absolutely beautiful. They say Good Patriot Realty, a salute to home ownership. I've been handing them out at closings, and people have been really well receiving those hats, these hats right here. That's right. Richardson 112, quality, actually stitched. The stitching was done in the USA at least. But anyway, if you want to talk to me about getting any real estate deals done, or maybe even getting your house listed for sale and taking advantage of this crazy Northern California market and cashing in and maybe rolling out of the state, give me a call at 408-472-0817. Again, 408-472-0817. Or if you just want to get in to that and ride that equity train here in California and get into the market, let me help you acquire a home. Yes, it is crazy out there, but the house is the prize. Absolutely. The house is the prize. Again, California DRE number 017 00019, and my phone number is 408-472-0817. And if you're new to the show and you don't want to miss another episode, go ahead and, if you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and smash that thumbs up for me. And if you're on Facebook, just like the show, start a watch party, and send me an email at info@realestateconnectionradio.com, and I'll sign you up for the podcast distribution list. Otherwise, you can find me on podbean.com, or you can find me on Apple Podcasts. Just look for The Real Estate Connection, and that guy in the cowboy hat right up there in the corner. That's what you'll see. Stephen Theard. There it is up there. All right. Without any further ado, let's get rolling into this show. So, you know, during the pandemic, it was a really interesting time. People were sitting at home, and some people were getting paid to sit at home. And so they're looking around their house, and they're like, hey, dear, remember that project you've been putting off because you've been at work all the time? Well, you're sitting around the house right now. Why don't you do that project? Whether it was putting in a retaining wall, installing sprinklers in the backyard, irrigation, putting in a new garden for your wife, or just painting that old bedroom that you guys just never really got around to. Or maybe it was a bigger project like putting in hardwood floors, or remodeling a small bathroom, a large bathroom, or remodeling the entire kitchen. During the pandemic, people were trying to fill their time with things to do. So on today's show, the topic is the pandemic and the joy of remodeling and the return on investment. All right, so this is a lot. I know it's a mouthful, but we're going to cover some things that I think you're going to find very interesting. This is all based on an article written by Andrea Brambilla by the National Association of Realtors. And what they did is they put out a survey to the members, and then also who jumped on board with this whole thing was the National Association of the Remodeling Industry. So there was a study conducted called the 2022 Remodeling Impact Report noted that Americans spent, get this, so during the pandemic, this is a big deal. All right, the pandemic, Americans spent, guess how much money? Guess how much money Americans spent in 2020 on home remodeling projects? Drum roll, please. $420 billion with a B dollars. That's right. Americans during 2020 spent $420 billion on home remodeling during the lockdowns and the pandemics. Now, so what does that have to say? What does that tell you? Okay, so the honeydew list was getting taken care of. Men were, or significant others, partners, or whatever, were doing projects and getting caught up around the house. But the construction industry was the benefactor, massive benefactor of the pandemic. If you were in construction, if you were a finished carpenter, electrician, landscaper, painter, general contractor, if you were a plumber, you were busy beyond belief. Now, depending on the state you were in, right, you were either really active and you had kind of free reign to kind of go out and do what you wanted, or you could have been on the sidelines, forced to the sidelines for about a month or two, like states like California and New York, Oregon, Washington, more left-leaning states that had a stricter pandemic policy. But once those pandemic restrictions lifted and construction contractors and tradesmen were considered necessary or vital services in the marketplace during that time, their businesses exploded. And they exploded to the tune of $420 billion. All right. So the survey found that 90% of National Association of Realtor members experienced a greater demand for contracting, right? So just 1 and 1, 1 plus 1 equals 2, simple math, 1 plus 1 equals 2, right? So contractors were out there. Now, they also conducted a study that calculated what they called a joy score, right? It was how much joy people were receiving from doing these various remodel projects around their properties, right? And so for interior remodeling projects combining a share of respondents who were happy and those who were satisfied when seeing their completed project or done, they were given a score ranking from 1 to 10. Okay, so what I'm going to go through right now is just, off the top, off based on this survey, what were the most joy-filled remodeling projects during the pandemic? And the reason we're going to do this is it's for you. If you have, you're trying to set a priority list as far as what remodeling projects you may want to do around your house, this will help you to figure out what's going to give you the most joy personally, because you're going to be done with the project, look back and go, wow, that looks great. I'm so glad we did it. And it's also going to increase the utility value of your home. And what do I mean by utility value? I mean by function, right? So maybe you have a spare bedroom that you don't have guests over very much anymore, but you've been working from home or were forced to work from home, and you converted the bedroom to an office. So in that conversion, and whether you did some painting, added some built-in bookshelves, and a desk and a printer, when you were done, you increased the utility value of that space. It was more functional for what you needed it for, and you were very happy with how it looked. So we're going to roll through some different projects that took place during the pandemic that had a 10. A 10. All right, let's give this a little. A 10 on the joy scale. All right, so what's number 1? Painting the interior of the home. So maybe you purchased your home 15, 20 years ago, and life just gets to rolling. You're doing errands and working and dealing with the kids, whether they're young, middle-aged, or middle school age or older, or maybe they just moved out, and you've been looking around and going, man, the styles have changed. The interior paint colors around me have been upgraded recently, right? Especially if you watch a lot of home and garden television and a lot of shows where they're talking about remodeling or renovating, right? And you're seeing that the color palettes have changed. So you decide to paint the interior of your home. You get done, you look back, and you go, "Whoa, that's a 10." Makes me feel really good, and it makes the house upgraded instantly. All right, so what's another 10 on the joy scale? That would be painting one interior bedroom. Now, I know it's not as much as the whole house, but maybe you have a special crafts or project room or a yoga studio that you want to add, or you have a sewing room and you wanted to, invoke a certain emotion when you walked into that room, and so you decided to paint it for a specific reason. You get done, you get a joy scale of 10. This one we already covered, which was adding a new home office. And during the pandemic, that was a really, really, really popular remodel item because instead of two people dashing off to work and going and spending time at a corporate office, you were now working from home. And so people were setting up in the kitchen or setting up in the bedroom, and they decided, well, you know what, we need to convert one of our extra spaces into an office. And so that provided functional utility right away and a joy scale of 10. Now, what is another item that people did during the pandemic that gave them a joy scale of 10 as well? And that is new wood flooring. So in older homes, especially here in Northern California, people will buy a house built in the 50s or the 60s or the late 70s, and they'll pull up the carpet and hope for what? What are they hoping for? Hardwood floors. Because a lot of people back then would hardwood floors would come with the house, but carpet was in vogue big time. So what they would do is they get the hardwood floors and be like, I don't want the hardwood floors. I want a really shag or really cool carpet where my feet are all warm, right? And carpet was really popular. So people would carpet over the hardwood floors. And so if you had a person who was maybe a one-time homeowner and never pulled up those carpets, you go in and buy an older home, pull up the carpets, and you have beautiful, beautiful hardwood floors that may just need some refinishing. But if you don't, a hardwood floor would be a great way to add joy and functional utility to the house, because a lot of people now have converted from carpet to a hard surface because they're trying to avoid allergies, right? And they're easier to keep clean. You don't have a buildup of dust and stuff. The one thing I never really understood, to be honest with you, is why do people have carpet in the master bathroom right next to the bathtub or the shower? It makes no sense to me, but those houses do exist still out there. So, new wood flooring. Also, closet renovations. So if you're a neat freak or somebody who's got more of an OCD tendency to them, and you're tired of the jumble and the disorganization of your walk-in closet or your sliding open door closet, a closet renovation can be really good because you'll go through and you'll clear out all the old stuff and toss a bunch of junk that you don't need or don't wear anymore, donate it or have a garage sale, and clear out the clutter, and then reorganize the closet with a new system. And it can be really satisfying when you go to open up that door every day. You're just like, wow, I'm glad I really did that. I can see where my clothes are. I can see the shoes I wear. I can see where the extra stuff that I need, like belts and accessories, are in the closet. More for men, it's going to be shoes, shirts, and pants. But for, maybe for women, you're going to have like your earrings, your other belts and accessories, your high heels versus your flats versus your boots. I mean, it could be anything, right? Or you could just organize your other stuff I won't mention. So, but a closet renovation. All right, so what else? Insulation upgrade comes on this list, and you may be asking yourself why. Well, if you have an older home that in the summertime it gets really hot and it's super hard to cool down, or you have an older home that doesn't hold heat in very well during the wintertime, if you do an insulation project, it can save you thousands of dollars a year on your Pacific gas and electric bill. For you guys that are listening out of state, that's our electricity company in California. It's PG&E. But if you put insulation in, you're going to notice that your house stays cooler in the summer and stays warmer in the winter, and it's an immediate feeling. You can sense and feel the difference in the home, and you can see it in your pocketbook as your electricity and gas bills start to go down. All right, what else? Attic conversion to living area. So if you have a peaked pitched roof where there's a walkable space in that attic, you can create it to a living space, or a storage area, and that can bring a lot of joy. Now, you would think that these two items would be at a 10, but they're not, and I find that interesting. These are the last two. Complete kitchen remodel is a 9.8, and a kitchen upgrade um, is a 9.8 as well. And I think the reason why it's not a 10 is it's a pain in the neck to upgrade your kitchen. If you're going to completely remodel it, you're shutting down the kitchen function of your house for a period of time, and you're relying on yourself and outside contractors and their timing in order to get the job done. And that can wear on you. Eating out seems fun the first 2 nights, but after a while, it's the same restaurants that you eat at all the time, and it gets old. And if you do want to cook, you're barbecuing in the backyard, you're using your kitchen, you're using your bathroom sink to wash dishes, and it's a mess. And when you're doing any type of drywall work, floors, dust with from cutting wood, all that construction debris is everywhere. Speaking from a person who recently underwent a complete bathroom remodel, you would be surprised. Despite all the tape and the plastic you put down on the floor, there's this construction dust that just floats all over your house, and you're constantly dusting. It's a pain in the neck, and I think that's probably why it's not a 10, it's a 9.8. All right, so those are the joy factors, and we are going to shift gears here. Oh, that's no fun. Come on, that's something better. Nah, that's no fun. Nah, let's go this one. Yeah, baby. We're shifting gears. So let's talk about what you've been waiting to hear about is the return on investment. Because, right, at the end of the day, your house is an investment, probably the biggest investment that you have in your life. The most amount of money you're planning on using the proceeds of it to sell and retire off of, maybe you leverage it for other investments, but it's a massive investment. So if you're going to do the work, you want to see a return. So before I get started on that, hey, if you have any questions about remodeling, about what the best return of investment is for you, or where you should prioritize in your house because you're thinking about maybe selling it in the near future, give Stephen Theard, your podcast host of the Real Estate Connection, a call at 408-472-0817. Again, 408-472-0817, or send me an email at info@realestateconnectionradio.com. That's info@realestateconnectionradio.com. And the DRE number is 017000019. All right, so let's talk about return on investment. So at the top of the list, with a 147% cost of recovery, would be hardwood flooring refinish. So if you have existing hardwood floors in your house and you want to refinish them, you're going to see a 147% return on your investment. That is massive. So that may be at the top of your list if you already have hardwood floors. Number two, at 118% cost recovery, would be new hardwood flooring. All right. So if you want to get 100% of your return, new hardwood floors, if you want to get 147%, if you already have those floors in place and they can't be refinished, go for it. All right, that's 118%, not 100, 118% for new hardwood floors. That requires a clearing. We just cleared the air. Isn't that beautiful? Cleared the air. New wood flooring, 118%. All right, 100% of your return is going to come from an insulation upgrade. Again, you're going to feel the difference right away. Your house is going to stay cooler in the summer and warmer in the winter, and you're going to get 100% of your investment back. A basement conversion to a living area gives you 86%. That's not going to be very common in California, so we'll move on to the next. A closet renovation gives you 83% return on your investment. So if you are more organized by nature, and you've been pressing maybe your significant other to do this closet renovation, let them know. from the Real Estate Connection and this article that actually from the article, then me, because I'm reading the article, 83% on the closet renovation. All right, so next down the line at 75% each one is an attic conversion to a living area and a complete kitchen renovation. Both of those you'll see 75% return. Now you would think you'd get 100%, but unfortunately it's just not what the numbers are playing out. So if you're gonna do an attic conversion or a kitchen remodel, you have to do it for that joy factor of 9.8 for the kitchen and 10 for the attic for your own feeling of joy from doing the project. And then the 75% return. A bathroom renovation gives you 71%. A kitchen upgrade, not a complete renovation, but maybe painting the cabinets, installing new hardware, putting in new appliances, that's going to give you a 67% return. And last but not least, adding a new bathroom will get you 63% on your return on investment. So those are the joy factors and the return on investment factors for when people went whole hog on remodeling their homes during the pandemic. Now, if you're just going to remodel for yourself, you can give me a call. I'd be happy to let you know kind of what's I'm seeing in the marketplace as far as what buyers are looking for if you're doing it for getting your house ready for sale. Otherwise, my last piece of advice is some of us think that we're going to be in our homes forever. They're going to take me out feet first. I hear this a lot. However, life changes, things happen, whether it's due to age, functionality, downsizing, job transfers. Things happen where you might have to put your house on the market. So you should always think about when you're remodeling with the looking forward to will this be too taste specific for the general population. So if you're really into country and western and you put saddles as your bar stools and they're permanent and you go to sell your house, that may not be a selling point. You can decorate with country and western themes and give some barn elements that do enough to satisfy your desires without necessarily going over the top. The same goes for modern, where everything is sleek and clean, stainless steel, everything in the kitchen, really clean lines, shiny gloss cabinets. There are some people out there that are looking for extreme modern, but maybe touches of modern and decorations with your furniture and things that are in your house to help push it forward more modern rather than taking the whole house into a modern feel where you may be cutting out some buyers in the future from the marketplace and then having to maybe undo things in order to get the house sold. So just keep that in mind. Not saying that you shouldn't put your taste into a home, but as a real estate professional who's dealt with this many times, it's just a little bit of forward thinking and advice for those who are looking to remodel. Again, if you have any questions about your specific fact pattern, give me a call. I can be reached directly at 408-472-0817. Again, 408-472-0817. And I'm going to leave you with this. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Hey, if there's anybody who's listening to this podcast today as a distraction from all the burdens of life, I'll tell you, there's a little small prayer for you that God would give you peace and that he would show himself to you and give you joy and comfort through the hard times, because we all go through them from time to time, and just letting you know that he's there for you. All right, with that, it's a wrap for another episode of the Real Estate Connection with your host and podcast, podcast host, Stephen Theard, sponsored by Good Patriot Realty, a salute to home ownership, 408-472-0817. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you next week on another episode of the Real Estate Connection.
This has been The Real Estate Connection with Realtor and Certified Probate and Real Estate Specialist Stephen Theard. Licensed Cal BRE number 0170019. For more information on this program, visit realestateconnectionradio.com. To contact Stephen directly, call 408-472-0817 or email info@realestateconnectionradio.com. And be sure to tune in next week at this time for The Real Estate Connection.